live in such a fast-paced world, but being in the ocean, I think it just slows me down and gets me back into my human rhythms. What I really like is just that feeling of being held and comforted and caressed by the water. Sometimes it's just the energy. You want to get some energy out of the water. That's what might be that day you want to go, to just be tossed around and just thrown about. I think it's just that there's a mental clearing, and then if you're doing it with other people, it can be just that social connection, build community, be there with your buddies, and feel young and silly again. Hi, I'm Shane Gould and I live in Bicheno. This is where we are now, on the east coast of Tasmania. I go swimming nearly every day. It changes all the time, so you just don't know what you're going to get. So this place is special because the water's clear, there's not many people, there's a huge variety of animals and plants and sort of seaweed, great water to swim in and great place to fish and live and enjoy the views and the vistas of the ocean. I established this group, although there were a few people were swimming before me, to make it more of a group and to take care of each other and then socialise afterwards. When we're out in the ocean there, some people who don't swim say, "Oh, I'd never go out there, there's sharks out there." Well, we've never seen a shark. Well, we've seen some little wobbegong type sharks, the draftboard sharks. We've had dolphins come and visit. They can be on a mission, just coming past and don't take any notice. Other times they're really curious and they come and swim around underneath you and check you out, and that's really cool when they come. I try to talk to them, make squeaky noises, and sometimes they come to me and say, "What's going on?" And then the stingray, one of them was Holy Moses. One of the swimming ladies was swimming over and this great big stingray came underneath. She said, "Holy Moses!" We've had some humpback whales. They're massive creatures and they've had big barnacles on them and slapping their tails, and it's just so nice to be able to be here in Bicheno and swim in clear, clean water. It's clean, but we still have to be vigilant. The big challenge that we have as human beings on our planet is, how can human beings live with the natural world, and how much can the natural world cope? It's got a tough enough job, the ocean, with the climate change, increasing temperatures and invasive species, and so I think it's really important to consider the holistic nature and the connected nature of ecosystems like the Great Southern Reef. I'm concerned about the effects of climate change, particularly on the temperatures, because there are species like the spiny sea urchins coming down. We're going to have to be really resilient and really adaptable, to those changes. I think people can look after our oceans and take care of them by getting in the water. Even if you just get your feet in the water, get to know a place. Have it has a sense of belonging and a sense of place around the coast, and then feel like it's your brother, your mother, your cousin, and so take care of it. It's your family. It's a source of nourishment. It's a source of comfort. So when you appreciate a place, you're more likely to look after it. So I think get out there and be in it, be in amongst it, and that's a really good way to have a sense of care. Whatever you need to do, to protect the integrity of the place.
This coastline blows me away every day. This ocean that we've got around us is just so special, it's so unique. any spare time I've got, I'm either on the water, under it, or in it. I can never imagine myself living anywhere else. Yeah, g'day, I'm Tim Cunningham. I grew up here at Eaglehawk now. My father's been a fisherman here for 40 years. I've done a lot of fishing myself, commercially and otherwise, recreationally. I love it, it's part of me. I'm super fortunate to have a job doing what I love. And nowadays, I drive boats for Rob Pennicott doing ecotourism. Quite often I'm the most enthusiastic person on the boat, I'm the most stoked about it. This bit of coast I think it's really just becoming known around the world now for the unique wildlife that we get here and the abundance of it. This time of the year, when the water is starting to cool down, we're seeing things like albatross that have come from all over the world. They've come here to feed because it's where it's at. There's no reason you're going to fly 2,000 kilometres unless it's something that's going to be worth it. Ecologically, there's incredible things here that happen nowhere else on Earth. We see animals turning up here from all over the place. We see orcas out here, hunting dolphins. We see thousands of humpback whales migrating up and down the coast. Things like southern right whales, one of the rarest mammals on Earth. We see them, cruising in the bays with their calves. That sort of thing is what gets you up and about. We're seeing different species of dolphins. We get common dolphins and bottlenose dolphins, but we're starting to see things like Baroonan dolphins, which are a pretty unique species, and then even dusky dolphins that come from New Zealand, we're seeing those. Southern elephant seals, leopard seals. That feeling you never know what you're going to see out there. It's super exciting every day. Sometimes you get some people that are just completely blown away and they say that it's the best day of their lives. When I was a kid, this place was at its peak. The fishing industry was going off, wildlife, everything was going off. It didn't matter where you looked, things were peaking. Everything was at its best. And I guess through my life, I've seen that change. I've seen the disappearance of the giant kelp. I've seen the fishing industry collapse, the water temperatures increase, and it's sort of like the opposite. My children are going to have a very different world to live in than I had. And that's a big worry given that, I'm 36. And like in that small period, we've seen the whole place change. We could be so much better at protecting key habitats. There's evidence around the world, like really clear evidence that suggests that protecting areas really does work. And I think if we could just protect some of these areas, there's so much potential for benefit for everyone. Not just commercial fishers, not just recreationals, but everyone. And not to mention, of course, the environment, like the fish that live there, the things that rely on it to survive. Like, it seems the simple thing that we could do to benefit so many people. That was the way I see it, and I've thought that for a long, long time. And as opposed to when I was a kid, it was like, what can we get out of this space? Like, what can we take from it? Now it's like there's more people that are like, what can we do to make it better? What can we give back? And that's super encouraging, and I really hope that continues.
When I'm in the water, it's a phenomenal feeling. Like, I don't know how to explain it. You're just weightless. It's beautiful. Like, just all the pretty colours, you got all the different wildlife, you got like the different corals, different seaweeds, different fish. You can look at all the patterns on the rocks, and I think it's just, every place is different, and I feel like you're never going to find the same thing. My name is Madie Anders. My people are the Truway people from Te Pukuna country. I'm a marine Antarctic science student studying at UTAS. My interest for the ocean originally started when I was really, really young. I grew up with a shack, and so I always went like fishing, snorkeling, playing at the beach with my family. And then it wasn't really until maybe late high school where I got really interested in it, and that's when I did my scuba diving course. And then I just found it was just like a complete different world down there. It was just nothing I could ever imagine. Like that first dive was absolutely amazing. And so just after that, I grew an absolute passion for it, and then I decided I wanted to make it into a career. I think I'm really lucky to be able to go for a dive. It's a spectacular place down there. Particularly in Tasmania, we've got such a special environment, like there's nowhere else in the world like it. And I feel like I have such a privilege to be able to do that, and I just feel like it's incredible, and lots of people don't realise how amazing it truly is. I plan to study ecology, and I want to learn how organisms interact with each other. Abalone is such a highly sought after food in the Aboriginal community. It is something that we've been eating for generations and generations. The abalone, they like to live on the rocks, and they prefer environments around kelp where they can be kind of hidden. As an Aboriginal woman, the ocean is sea country, it's women's country, so the women protect it. We use it as a resource. It is such a prime part of our culture. Climate change is something that is dramatically impacting our marine ecosystem, and without the proper measures in place, our marine environment is struggling. Our scientists today, they're doing such an incredible job in trying to maintain it or sustain it, but I feel like it just needs a lot more work and a lot more knowledge about it from the community as well.
You just learn something every time you go in the water, and I just love learning. Every moment, it's hard to turn your mind off. You're just not just looking at pretty things, you know, you're thinking, oh, how does this system work? You know, what's driving that? Why does this species live here and nowhere else? When I was 4.5, my parents bought a shack at a place called Rain of Sand, and I grew up there, on the water, in the water, looking around, fishing, snorkeling. It was quite a fascinating place. But over those years, I got to see fish numbers declining, particularly sharks, and many of the key reef fish species, for example, that we used to catch in abundance just disappeared over that period. As I guess matured and thought about these things, I just wanted to know, why are these things gone? Was there long-term environmental changes that we didn't understand, or was it due to human impacts? And so that was just a burning question as a young person. I mean, what is the cause? And will marine parks maybe protect some of these things? And if we made a marine park, would things come back? Right, so I'm Associate Professor Neville Barrett. I work at the Institute for Marine and Antarctic Studies at the University of Tasmania, and have done for a long time. So, you know, I've been working on a range of things over many years, mainly reef ecology, but a long-term association with, you know, marine protected areas in particular. Right here, we're at the Tinderbox Marine Park in southeast Tasmania that was declared in 1992, and I've been working on that, you know, monitoring that really almost every year since then, over the last 30 plus years. So it's this mix of estuary meets ocean, and it gets this really unique mix of species because of that. You know, it is quite a fascinating system in the sense we've got lots of endemic species. So they're species that live here and really nowhere else on the planet. Certainly not in other countries, but most of them not even in other states. Because Tasmania is actually at the southern end of Australia, and for many species that have, you know, been on the move since the last glacial period as things have started to warm up over 10,000 years or more, they've actually, many of them have got nowhere else to go. They've actually moved down here. If there are species that specialises in sheltered waters, well, here we are. You know, the only sheltered waters between here and Antarctica. But importantly, we're part of the Australian continent, which has had this temperate reef area exposed to very similar conditions for over 60 million years, and that's led to an incredible radiation of diversity. And so we do have a very high level of overall diversity, particularly in the seaweeds. Our seaweed diversity is, there's more species of seaweeds found in Tasmania than you'll find in the corals, and even the highest coral hotspot in the Pacific Ocean, for example. So it's very special in particular ways, and that's just what I love in places like this. I can jump in here and see, maybe 150 species of seaweeds on a single dive. Well, these parks are really special arcs, if you like, to go back in time and see what the coast was once like before we managed to massively impact it. Naturally, the crayfish are very abundant in Tasmania, but they've been massively overfished and still are. And so you rarely see, well, you never see big ones now on the open coast outside of a marine park. You might see some little ones, but even then you don't see many. But here they're all over the place. In fact, lots of very big crayfish. Bigger crays produce exponentially more eggs than the young ones. But the other part of it really is their ecological role. Those big crays, what we call effectively ecosystem engineers in a way. They actually eat lots of things, from abalone through to sea urchins. And as I guess a lot of people know nowadays, that there are some major problems in Tasmania with sea urchins basically getting out of control. They've been very important in the past. The lobsters, they eat the urchins which eat the seaweed, and they actually do a great job of keeping those urchins in control, and these marine parks are where we can see that actually in action. So you'll go to places like this and see beautiful kelp forests and step outside them and you'll see areas that are just completely devoid of seaweeds because of that lack of control by the big lobsters. When you step back and look at it, we've only got a few marine parks around all of Tasmania, and it's not representative of all the different habitats that we've got, and some of them are too small to even be effective. We need to expand our marine park network and to make that more comprehensive spatially and representative. We don't manage ecosystems at all around Tasmania, apart from in marine parks. But that's all, and we need to really lift our game in that space. We need spatial planning around the state that takes into account habitat values. So that's the first step, and bring the whole community along.
I think I'm a bit blasé because we've got this beautiful environment, so really lucky to have this place in Tassie. Clean, clear oceans, lovely clean air, and it's just so beautiful, but I need to appreciate it more because it's quite rare.
I want to work on trying to fix the damage that we've done to the marine environment, and I feel like my way of giving back is to try and come up with solutions to help fix that.
There's so many things we can do locally to make it a better place. What I would like to see going forward is I think we can implement some management which allows things to regrow. We can allow fish stocks to rebound. I really hope that my children will, maybe when they're my age, they can be telling a story that's opposite of mine. Like they can be saying, when I was a kid, there wasn't, these things were going back, but in my lifetime I've seen them get better. That would be a real hope for me.